If we want a great culture, we have to be really careful what we feed it, and we have to be responsible for that. So if I asked you to define your culture, your ideal culture in a word, what would it be? Winning? But wait there, wasn't that the Australian cricket team's culture? That didn't end so well, did it? So winning's great, but winning at all costs is a problem. But the culture we define and that we aim for in the organisations we work with is a culture of authenticity. And when we talk about authenticity, we describe authenticity as the courage to be real, the courage to be true to yourself. It's about coaching other people to make good choices, isn't it? So I'd say as leaders, we have a double responsibility. We have to hold ourselves to an incredibly high standard in terms of our choices, but we have to be courageous in coaching others about their choices. So what we often find is we have great individuals, but the team dynamics are not taken care of. This is really critical because there's a thing called discretionary effort, which is the amount of effort people make that they don't have to make. So if they make less than a certain amount, then you're on their case and there's a consequence. But once they get to that point, they know that they're doing okay and you'll leave them alone. Does anyone have a workplace or a team that doesn't have any conflict? No, that's good. You've got no conflict in your team? Create some. Conflict is so important. Now, it might just be the way we're defining conflict, because sometimes good conflict doesn't feel like conflict. But sometimes when there's no conflict, it's because people won't share different ideas. They won't challenge each other, and we want all of that, but it's how they deal with that. So I've got to have the courage and the environment in which I feel comfortable speaking up, but I have to do it well. I've seen sales managers complaining about not getting reports, but then not processing a commission check in time or a leave request. And what's the number one skill they use? And if anyone asks me what's the number one thing a leader needs to learn to do, this would be it. Ask questions. That's the number. Now the question can't be, why are you such an idiot? So you'd keep pressing it all day. And what I think some leaders do is they allow themselves to become the big red button. Because people have a problem, they come to you, they press it, and you go, there you go. And you fix their problem for them by telling them, by directing them, instead of developing them. And how do we develop them? Ask questions. So one of the challenges for you as an organisation is to make sure that your leaders have a consciousness about being leaders and not just managers, but also that they're allowed to be leaders, not just managers. I love this phrase. Occupying a leadership role doesn't make you a leader any more than standing in a garage makes you a car. Leadership's not about what's written on our card. It's about what we do. Leadership's not something magical or something mystical. It's simply about certain behaviours and doing them consistently and doing them repetitively and learning to do them well. I could have a rule for a whole bunch of situations, and what can you guarantee the staff will do? They'll either break them or they'll find the damn exception to the rule, and then what do I have to do? Make a new rule. We end up with all these rules. Whereas if we've just got really strong values, then values are global and we can use those to coach behaviour. And my number one tool as a leader, if things aren't going well, is to coach people by saying, hey, let's have a look at what happened there and how does that fit with our values and what would we do differently? Because that's how we use values to shape culture. Thanks, guys. Cheers.